we paint a picture of the ideal scenario of what Nairobi should look like versus what it is now. We look at the gap. What do we need to do so that we can bridge where we are to where we think we should be going? Now, I am not alone, as you can see. On my extreme right, we have somebody who is very familiar to you. Mtu ambaye amewasomea katiba vizuri sana. Is a civic educator. He has been to our show very many times. None other than I call him honorable. But atakaye kusikia mambo ya honorable, so is Mugane Mogo, karibu sana to our show.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Kifuata na pale ni a very brilliant mind, na you will come to hear why. Anaitwa Daniel Gadhuka. Is a research scientist, and lazima niangalie hapa kwa notes kwa sababu mambo ni mengi. Is a PhD scholar na a biochemistry research fellow. Karibu sana Daniel Gadhuka to our show.
Thank you very much.
Now on my left, finally we have somebody you're also familiar with, Engineer Dalton Omondi, who is the chief trainer of the Kenya Mathematical Olympiad. He's also the chief trainer of the Kenyan team to the East Africa Mathematical Olympiad, the Pan-African Mathematical Olympiad, International Mathematical Olympiad, and also very recognized by the Center for the Mathematics, Science, Technology, Education in Africa, Semastea. East Africa, I guess. Semastea. Karibu sana Dalton katika our show.
Asante sana.
Welcome back. So, education has been touted as the great equalizer. Kila mtu ambaye anataka kusema how to equalize the people of the nation, mostly wanasema education is number one. So, today in our country, kuna about 800,000 students who are still pending, wanangoja kuingia shule, hawana uniform, hawana school fees, capitation imenyongwa. And on the other hand, countries like Norway, they are doubling down on education. Hapa chini kwetu Botswana, they are looking to sponsor education kutoka 0 level to university. Why are we destroying education in our country? To what benefit? What do you think is the end goal? And what the recent developments that we are seeing in the destruction of education in our country? What could be the end goal? Maybe start from Mugane. What have you seen? Kwanza tuambie, what have you seen? What have you seen?
Thank you, Senator Steve.
Yes.
I think maybe for lack of better jargons, it's not destroying. I would say it's intentional sabotage.
Intentional sabotage.
Yes. And by this intentional sabotage, I mean in Kenya, we're in the process of weaponizing education or using it as a political tool, whereby we don't have any long-lasting policies. We have a campaign, we are using it for campaign and
mileage.
Yes, for mileage. For example, there isn't outbreak for discounting the day school fees.
Yes.
We've been having devolution for the last, I think, 15 years.
Yeah.
Since the 2010 Katiba.
Yes.
But in all those years, right now, it is when MPs are realizing that, wow, this thing can cost 500 shillings. And it has been, actually, most of them, it started with Ndindi Nyoro.
Yes.
After Ndindi Nyoro, the others that have been following, hata sisi hapa tunalipisha 500. So what I'm asking is, what has been happening, for example, in that scenario in the previous past, last year, why were day schools not paying 500? Last year, but why were day schools not paying 500? Okay, we have no problem with why they were not paying the 500 then.
Yeah.
So where is the money coming from all of a sudden?
All of a sudden.
Okay, you can still answer that question.
Yes.
So tell us,
Yeah.
do we have any policies for sustainability of this word of mouth? Because it's a word of mouth. We have not seen the parliament sit down and say that, hey, you know, now we have passed that, you know, you will not be paying this and this. Like, so the intention of sabotage is to make sure that for you to get education, it doesn't come to you as a right, it comes as an economic, as a political favor from a member of parliament. Because you tell me why parents need to queue at the MP's office to get bursaries.
Pathetic.
It's pathetic. And even the issue of school uniforms that you are hearing right now, because a lot of things are affecting the education sectors. It is being attacked from by, I would say, viruses from a lot of areas. We have the issue of school uniforms.
Yes.
We have the issue of tracking students manually for transition. In 2026, you mean in 2026 we don't have a database to know who has transitioned and who has not transitioned, and we need to go door to door campaigning in the name of we are following up which students have not transitioned.
It's a shame because Dalton will tell you here that Kenya tunasema we are a digital economy. In fact, the penetration ya vitu kama mobile phone, smartphone and internet penetration is almost 90%.
85% the population.
85% the population. Why can't we track all these things?
I think it's all a matter of impunity. It is not that we can track them. The only problem is if you can track something, you leave a trail of accountability. I think that is the true problem. So it is not, for example, that people didn't know, MPs are now realizing education fees can be 500 shillings.
Yes.
It is that the money allocated for each constituency is usually around 150 million shillings. For Kiharu, for example, for Ndinjoro, it was 188 million shillings. Now, most of these MPs cannot account for what they have done.
Yeah.
You find some MP, the only thing they've reported to have done with the 150 million is they bought some mystery tanks, and then they labeled, brought to you to this school by this MP.
Honorable.
And so you find 38 water tanks
Yes.
sent to schools, and then they say that's everything they did for the whole year. Now, if they were to track the exact number of enrollment, the exact number of financial need, then they also have to answer, where's our money going to? So I think it's all a matter of impunity. It's also part of the reason why a lot of MPs have strong opposition to any form of digital tracking of their spending. If there is tracking, we will know. So it's impunity.
But it's such an irony that Kenya in a lead na vitu kama M-Pesa, mobile money, whereby you cannot lose your money today. It's very difficult for you to lose your money today because there is a digital footprint. However, the government, which is also our money, the taxes ambao tunalipa, all of a sudden, we are very blind. We cannot see pali, we cannot implement systems that could track all this money. What do you think is happening here, Daniel? Because I've seen kule, I think in Baringo somewhere, somebody constructed one room, na akasema hii ni shule, 7 million in the middle of nowhere. What do you think is happening?
Now this matter is so systemic.
Yes.
If we look at it from a point of from our primary school when we were being taught maybe GHC or social studies,
Yeah.
to high school where we were taught part of the constitutions,
Yeah.
and we were given the mandates of each of the persons.
Yeah.
Now the question comes in here. Anybody who is logical enough to question is, what does an MP do with money?
Responsibilities.
Now, I would argue this way that since MP knows no one can hold him accountable of spending money, his work is legislation. Now, for the system, be it now the government, for us to eat the money through corruption is one of the ways is give me 180 million or 200 million
Yeah.
as the MP.
Yes.
I'll find a channel of spending 30 million to the public and coming back with you with 150 million.
Yes.
Case in point, we have new MPs who have been elected for the first time.
Yes.
I won't mention the names, but you guys know who they are. One of them I saw, he has like 3 cars, high-end cars. He's building a mansionette in the village. With the same salaries which we know, they argue that it's not enough.
Yes.
So the question begs, where did he get the money? The money is the CDF money that they are given. Instead of spending to the intended purpose, they shift the responsibility or the accountability. Because now it's very hard, ideally, to hold an MP responsible on the money he's given.
But I want to interject hapo upande ya responsibility because all of you know hapa as he said is intentional sabotage. Now one of the ways, and as he said pia ni there's no very great transparency, digital transparency, hakuna digital footprint. Now shifting, you have brought the idea of shifting responsibility. Leo hii women rep ako na basari yake, MCA basari yake, MP basari yake, senator, governor ako na president anakuja kumalizia pia ako na basari yake. Na bado well wishers wanakuja, watu kama Equity wanakuja waneka, they drop it into the kit, tuko na basari yetu Safaricom. Lakini at the same time wanafunzi wanakaa nje with no school fees. Wamelazimishwa, they cannot go beyond the school gate ya Lenana. Lenana boys because awana. What do you think should be happening to the responsibility now? Who should be responsible?
Actually, the first question here, the last time I checked, we don't want members of parliament to have some particular kind of academic qualifications. What is the threshold currently? A Form 4 leaver can run for an MP?
Yes.
So now I want us to look at this scenario. You said it's about 188 million. The last time I checked at those bursaries, we had about, I think, 3 categories, 167, 150, depending on a few, issues that are considered during the allocation. Now, my worry is, if, Steve, you had a company that is having a turnover of about 188 million.
Yeah.
I'm not looking down on Form 4 leavers now here, to be very clear.
Yes. We must speak the truth hapa kwa show. Lazima tuongee ukweli.
Would you choose someone that is a Form 4 leaver, has no specialization or is not a specialty in any economic issues, does not hold any bachelors, does not hold any diploma in anything related to finances or management.
No management.
So you come and pick this Mogane Mogo, a Form 4 leaver, and you tell them, hey, you know what? You will be managing this company and the turnover is in the tune of about 188 million. So whatever we are facing here is an issue of people doing the wrong job. Remember, the work of a member of parliament is legislation. That's why a governor is a CEO of the county. In short, he's a president and he's a CEO of the county. Now, why are we having members of parliament managing very huge chunks of money, and some of them, they don't have any economic capabilities or financial knowledge to manage such huge sums?
Because the governor alitoka huko Mandera akakuja kujenga nyumba Isili.
Yes.
So the in turn maybe the MP anaona is my duty to do what the governor is not doing.
I think until leadership stops being a hassle, like everybody that wants to lead, and in this nation, I'm sure if we can strip off some of the benefits that come with these elected positions, we would have very few candidates running for these seats.
Kama basari.
Yes, if these MPs, saizi, the conversation that is there in the corridors of Senate is that the senators also want a kitty. That
of course
we want a kitty as
senators
because this work of legislation, we are doing it so perfectly and it is not enough. We want more responsibilities. It is ridiculous. And going back now to you look at the issues, there's something I was talking about, some of the things that are affecting the education system. The issue of uniforms. let no one come and lie to us that they don't know why our students have not joined high school because they don't have uniforms.
Hawana uniform.
And again, the word of mouth. The president juzi amesimama akasema, hatutaki mtu aingie shule bila why can't we have
propaganda? Why can't we have the policies?
Why do you have very sweet words and people intervening and philanthropists lining our needy students with metallic boxes that they are going to cater for 50% of their feet? Like, we need policies that can outlive administrations.
Now we are thinking about labda ni systematic, because let us compare it with the hunger conversation. Previously, even in Melipuka, juzi, even in Minnesota and US, whereby they're creating these NGOs. Ambazo US wanaita learning center instead of learning centers. So these NGOs, they come under the pretense ya kwamba, tuko na shida sana. And what is the problem today? Education. Are they creating, do you think they are creating opportunities for this to siphon ile pesa inayokuja education through NGOs na vitu kama hizo as another scam? Ama what is that? Because I don't understand. Why? Hakuna school fees. Hakuna uniform. Haya, pesa lunch hakuna. Do you think they are maliciously creating an opportunity hapa for these guys to come in?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because if you look at the Ministry of Education, you realize for the last 15 years, we have been having what partners and donors in that.
Yes.
And the easiest way to swindle money is through partnerships and donors.
Yes.
So at some point the government will hear it's announcing that it's remitting a couple of billions.
Yes.
In that couple of billions, probably half of it is what goes to the schools,
yes,
to help to maybe feed the kids or to provide equipment for teaching or to offer
laboratories,
yes, or new structures in the schools.
Yes.
Now
desks.
Now through partnership we have seen it year in year out that any NGO or donor money and partnership money has no accountability. You cannot trace it to anybody, because when you go trace it, you'll be told hii pesa haikuwa yako,
hii pesa money
ni en tax tulipewa na World Bank. Wewe unafuatilia nini kusaidia na nini? Now your kids now eventually ends up missing the essential, which is now the education, because now principals, you hear year in year out principal complaining that, okay, look guys, the government has not given the capitation.
Don't we ever learn? Kwa sababu every year, by the way, and
every year, every time
we complain, keep complaining about schools. Labda you are a trainer. What is the perspective ya wanafunzi? What do they think about? Are they shifting the blame? Who do you think they're placing the blame on? Like leo umeenda Olympiad, students ambao wanafaa kuwa natoka Turkana High School, you should be sponsored mpaka pahali anaweza kusoma mathematics to the highest level. Na labda unapata labda in the course of your training wengine hawana hata fare ya kukuja to the trainer. So what do you think who should be responsible for this? Because pesa iko. So who do you think should be responsible, and how should the responsibility be allocated?
So I will begin by telling you this, Senator Steve. You see, the plight of the innocent man is not the atrocity of the evildoer.
The plight of the innocent man
is not the atrocity of the evildoer.
It's not the atrocity of the evildoer.
It is the silence of the good man. So it is not the bad things that are happening, the corruption. It is the good people we rely on to safeguard us who are hurting us. So if I give you an example, you see, in chapter 6, section 2 of the Constitution, it highlights rules on transparency of the budget. It says that the budget drafted in a country must be transparent for the public. We must know where our money is going as a nation. And it also says that for any resource used or any debt taken, the benefit or the burden must be shared equitably across generations. Now, that is a part of the Constitution that nobody cares about it. We are waiting on the Supreme Court, on the Chief Justice, to maybe make a comment. For example, Juzi to the Auditor-in-Chief gave out the financial statement from last year, and we are told that some billions of shillings just disappeared in thin air.
Magically.
Nobody knows where it went to. And that's not the only instance. We have instances where we can't track our finances. And so, the problem is enforcement. We need to be able to enforce where we're putting this money, where the money is going. So you see in the Olympiad, sometimes we face such a problem. There's a student from Turkana, they don't have fare to come. Now, even if the government says this is the amount of money going into education, who is going to enforce that to make sure hiyo pesa imefika? Usually it disappears halfway. So what Semester does to cater for these students is they look for separate sources of funds just in case, because our systems are not reliable. And so they send the fare to the students to make sure the students come to Nairobi, do the contests over more and more levels as they get higher.
Yes.
So it becomes a problem. We don't trust our institutions. They can't trust the government because no one is enforcing it. The people we put there to enforce it, they're silent.
Nataka niingilie wazazi kwa sababu sasa nataka niingilie wazazi na pia walimu. Mugane, you have been on the ground.
Yes.
Ground inasema nini? Are these people docile? Where mbona hakuna maandamano kitambo? Say kitambo ni labda 2000. If there was such a thing ambapo watoto wanakosa kureport shule, there could have been an uproar. Walimu, wazazi wangeshikana huko watoe nguo waseme tunatoa nguo mpaka wakati mtafanya nini? Mtarejesha watoto wetu kwa shule. Yeah. Why am I seeing a lot of docility? Am I seeing my own things? What is the situation on the ground?
No.
Are people not angry enough?
Sometimes we talk about the calm before the storm. And sometimes what I also think is that in this nation we have a lot of issues that are affecting the common mananchi to a point you become emotionally fatigued. You know, even if you look at during maandamano, there were two sections of people. Yes. There was a section, there was a sect that was saying, hey, let us keep on, getting on the streets every day. Wacha tutoke kila siku, wacha to push. And then there was another faction that was saying, hey, you know what, we need to relax and build momentum, then we go back. I would go with the relax, build momentum, and then go back. So what the government or the KK government has been doing is that it has been making sure that you have a lot of issues that you are dealing with until you can't, when you have multiple pains or you have multiple injuries or fractures, you can't really point out which area of your body is hurting. So it's a raft of issues, like kuna vitu mingi sana zina affect our watu. Until now you go back to basic needs. For example, when you go to the streets, going to the streets sometimes it is a luxury. To be very honest. Especially for Kenyans or citizens
live
hand to mouth. It means that I need to close that business of mine so that I can go and fight for rights. And then I have 4 children that need to eat, and there is today, and there is one that has not been admitted. So what do I do? Do I starve the 4 to go and fight for the one, like how Jesus left the 99 to go look for one? Sometimes, of course, the 99 look like a very big figure if you don't humanize them until you are the one that is being looked at for. So in this situation, I don't think the citizenry is docile. What I think is happening is that there's a lot of political management currently. Everybody is coming in with promises. So everybody is waiting for solutions, especially the people that have been affected with the placement,
school fees.
Like everybody, if you go Saizi, if you go to Ushago, these matangas, they are filled with a lot of promises, Senator Steve. Saizi, anybody that has lost a loved one, it is not a surprise when the MP does not know you and
but
you hear that they have sent a bahasha. No, they have said kuna a couple of,
there's funds for matanga.
So they're using agents. Hey, weenda kwa ile kijiji. Mwingine wanakuja na bahasha. No. So I think it's not docility. It's about the political promises that are coming within this period, and the citizenry is like, wacha tungoje, mheshimiwa atatusort.
Now ukiangalia because it's systematic, wazazi labda wamenyamaza, they come before the storm as Mogani is saying. But teachers, all of you here are educators in one capacity or another. Teachers mbona wonke? Why are the teachers not speaking out? Because wakati there is pure enrollment, wakati maanisha they have no jobs essentially. Okay, hakuna mtu wa kufunza. So why are the teachers not caring enough yet? Waikosa kulipwa, they are up in arms.
Now, on this, I think, as he was saying, socially we have so many problems. And I don't think there's anybody anywhere, be it even the teacher, will come and say that, you know what, Steve, your kid is not around.
But they are teaching these people.
They are supposed to teach, yes. But remember, these guys are they are under the same government. Well, some are not supporting the government as well, but they are safeguarding their jobs, livelihood, survival. So, in a way, you'll hear principles converging through their associations.
But tumeona hapa wakipewa 10,000 allegedly wameitwa State House wakapewa kitita wakaguzishwa kitu. Buying their silence.
Buying their silence. That's one of the ways. And the other thing is, you look at the associations zenye zilikuwa zinawatetea some years back.
Yes.
All those associations have been weakened.
Have been crippled.
So much. Like we used to know this guy anaitwa nani? Sosione akiambia walimu hakuna kwenda shule, nobody goes.
Yes.
Till the government agrees.
Yes.
But now that does not exist anymore.
Na pia lecturers wako pale ndani. Usisahau pia lecturers pia
they are lied for a few days, they go back to work.
Yes.
Now when the government realizes it's going too far, they activate their CBA, they are paying.
Na mbona unajua mimi nashanganga.
It is a real problem.
Yes.
Because if you look at the parent, there's something we were discussing with Daniel here.
Yes.
Imagine you're a parent.
Yeah.
You earn 100,000 shillings.
Yes.
And then you have 3 children who are in national school.
Ini on a whole year ama ni per month?
Per month.
100,000.
100,000 shillings per month.
Is it net?
Kenya hii yetu.
Let's say net.
Let's assume
You are
it's
part
net.
of that small
Mimi siko hapa wadau.
That
I
is
need
like
a job. I need a job.
And then you have 3 children
Yes.
In national schools.
Yes.
So the fees alone will be around 50,000.
Yeah.
50,000 for one child.
Yeah.
So
And you
2
have
of
3.
your children washakumalizia salary. You've not paid anything, you've not paid rent.
Na ulikula
you've
proper
not,
December.
Utility bills.
electricity bills.
Yes.
The third child umesahau.
Yes.
So parents are so overburdened. They can't afford anything. So salary iko hapa,
Yeah.
but the liabilities, the things they have to pay,
Yes.
expenditure, iko huku. There's no alignment. So people, we are in survival mode. You see, people in other countries, they can think of the future. We can't think of the future. We have to figure out what are we going to eat tomorrow. And so we are stuck in that cycle that we can't even build our nation.
Na sasa if we are in that cycle, who should be thinking about these things? Because somebody has to think about them.
So I think
How do we transition from survival mode to some other mode ambao we are thinking about even the future?
if you want to live survival mode, we must first of all make sure we fund education properly.
How?
So you see, for example,
Yes.
the Institute of Economic Affairs, they published a statement saying our education sector needs around 850 billion shillings to 1 trillion shillings. But how much did Treasury put for education? 702 billion shillings.
Yes.
Leave alone that over the last 4 years,
Yeah.
117 billion
Yeah.
has disappeared into nothing. So if we can make sure we increase the budget for education, it can help parents deal with this burden.
And to add on that, is that amount you are hearing, they are saying that 750 billion has been set aside for education. 49% of it goes to salaries within the people within the ministry. Then this, if it's let's say half of it,
Yes.
goes to salaries alone. The other 350 billion has to be distributed across primary schools, high schools, universities, and research.
Oh yeah, research.
How possible is it? So it's misplaced priorities, as he was saying, and accountability. Like if we want to move from survival mode, let me just give
Yes.
another perspective.
Yes.
First of all is, if it is education, we need to reduce, or we have to reduce the salaries.
Of who?
Extremely.
Because walimu watakubali.
Not the teachers.
Uh-huh.
The people working under the ministry itself. Not the teachers. I'm not targeting the schools. Those people, you realize, those people, I heard these people have meetings there in Ngara. Someone moves from Jogo House to Ngara is paid like 30,000.
Just to go for a meeting.
To just go for a meeting.
Wow.
And it is wrong.
Mshahara ya mwalimu.
So one of the things is, it's not even the salary is the
Yes,
problem.
yes.
The salary might be 100,000
Yes.
or
But it is
50,000.
extra money
But
that is
these extra money is from per diems and all that. Is
but-
what balloons it.
You know, you're saying per diem, unajua fail to understand. Unasema per diem ya huyu mtu moja ni mshahara ya mwalimu.
Ni mshahara ya mwalimu hapo huko ushago.
Yeah. So do you think
So one way of regulating that, you maintain your salary. You have your responsibilities. We have given you the work of an MP.
Yes.
For example.
Yes.
An MP, we know you have a salary for being an MP.
Yes.
Why should we give you an allowance for going to attend
It is your job.
it's your job.
Uh-huh.
So the same thing applies to
funeral.
that person
Yes.
Yeah.
who is working under the ministry. If you have a meeting with Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, why should we give you an allowance to go and sit and do your work? Do away with those allowances. You recoup or you reduce the wage bill, because ideally the wage bill should not exceed 35% of any.
Yeah. Don't you think it would be very important, for example, to increase more civic educators like yourself, to tell people, for example, after we talk like this, well, what can they do as individuals? I think it would be very important. So one of the reasons I noticed this is because most people have no idea the financial status of Kenya. We don't know how much we have, how much we don't have. And recently I was looking at the National Treasury website, and I found the CS John Buddy. He sent a statement there reminding Kenyans of not just their constitutional right, but their constitutional obligation to input into the budget allocation process. So you remember how 2024 people were, we were protesting after the finance bill was released. But unfortunately it was too late, because after it is released, all arms of government have aligned. So right now, when they are still drafting the budget, the normal Monanchi can go draft what they want the government to prioritize in the budget and send it to bps at treasury.go.ke. That is the budget policy statement.treasury.go.ke. And then it will be considered. I think this is a good thing. If many people do it, we can influence where they allocate money.
Is
So
there
that
an
if
easier
they allocate to
mechanism?
more to education, it will be very nice for us.
Is there an easier mechanism maybe kuongeza hapo kwa nini what you said contribute to the allocation of the finance bill kama sasa inatengenezwa? Is there an easier mechanism? Kwa sababu what I've seen so far, they continue disenfranchising us with a lot of information. Ukienda hapo kwa hiyo website unaweza pata is probably very poorly designed. Button kufinya hakuna.
You have to highlight.
Yes.
For that specific website, I have checked that.
Yes.
There's some things we are doing wrong, yes, but
Yes.
other things we've gotten right.
Yes.
And we must treat each with equal weight.
Uh-huh.
With regards to the website, the National Treasury, it is well done, and it's easy to get the information we need. So what we lack is political goodwill, because people trust politicians.
Is
They
this
don't
information
trust
transparent? Is this
Yeah.
can we see ya kwamba 45 people contributed to part A of this financial bill? 70 people walikataa na hii. 100 people is it that transparent ama kuna shadow tunaambiwa ni kama suggestion box whereby tunaweza amua kusoma ama you have fun with it.
It can't be because
Why? Because we need
as a
transparent.
coun-
We
as a
need
country-
transparent.
as a country and as a nation,
Yes.
or as blacks generally, we have so much insecurities.
Yes.
That me being the CS or the central bank governor,
Yeah.
and here my brother comes in with his suggestions on a budget,
Yes.
and a friend here and me and you,
Yeah.
and these propositions are much better than what he had proposed. Yeah? He is so insecure that he thinks these guys are gonna get my work. We don't qualify ideally, but he doesn't. Majority of us, we don't want that challenge of having a different opinion, or you can request for those what we call the suggestions.
We need
But
transparent system.
those
I need
suggestions,
to see
those
pale in Epes in
you see when they go,
Uh-huh.
they are sent into what we call the junk
junk mail.
junk mail.
Yeah.
They're never read.
Yeah.
They are just to convince you that, oh look, guys,
kulikuwa na
public
the illusion of
participation.
public participation.
Because those who in those positions feel like, okay, if we incorporate these things, then we are not doing our work.
But then,
Mugane, what do we
to
do?
give
Eh.
it a benefit of doubt,
Yes.
I don't know, is it that as a community,
Yeah.
we are pessimistic, or is it as a society, rather, we have been conditioned? You know, let me tell you about this vintage example of Ivan Pavlov, about the classical conditioning.
Yes.
And I will relate it with the public suggestions
Yes.
and all that, and you know,
Transparency, yeah.
and not even, yeah, and all that. So right now, on the conditioning part, what Ivan Pavlov was talking about, the classical conditioning, he gave the example of the bell, the food,
dog
and
and
all
the
that,
food,
the
yes.
dog and the food.
Yes.
The bell, the dog, and the food. Now, in classical conditioning,
Hold
we
on,
usually
hold on.
talk about a neutral thing causing a reaction when the neutral thing is attached to a reward.
So Ivan Pavlov anasema kuna
When you ring a bell,
ring a bell.
that's a neutral reaction. It's a neutral thing.
It's a neutral stimulus.
It shouldn't affect the dog.
Yes.
But then, when you pair it with a reward, you
Yes.
ring the bell
Yes.
and produce food.
Yes.
The dog starts.
Salivating.
No, the first day, yes, probably the first day it will, like, okay,
What is this?
what happened? The
Yes.
bell got rung and there's food all of a sudden.
Yes.
Then the second day, you come and repeat
Yes.
the same stimulus.
Yes.
You ring the bell and give it food.
Yeah.
Then the third day, you come with the neutral stimulus, the bell, without food.
Yes.
What happens to the dog? It
They
starts
can't-
salivating
they expect the
because
food, yeah.
it was anticipating food.
Yes.
Now, in two ways, I think we can relate the common mwananchi
Yes.
to this kind of classical conditioning. The first way, we've been conditioned that whenever you ask for a public opinion,
Yes.
it never counts. It's a stimulus.
That
hey,
so it is pointless to
you know what? Tupatieni opinion. Tunakuja tunawapatia opinion.
Yes.
It doesn't count. Mnakuja tena mnatuambia tupatieni opinion.
It doesn't.
It doesn't count. What happened? The reaction that forms in the third when this stimulus for
Yes.
give us suggestion happens.
Yes. Tunasema
Is
Kila mtu anaondokea.
hii opinion wa count.
kaeni nayo,
We've given
kaeni
up.
nayo, yeah.
So we've been conditioned, we've been fatigued. So our reaction is always when you say there's a website, there's this and this.
Yes.
And right now even the challenge when you go to the villages, to the grassroots,
Yes.
and you tell people, hey, you know,
Go
unajua
out.
pesa yetu inaibiwa, wanakuuliza hasa tutafanya nini? What do we do? Our money is being stolen. Haki tutadu. Hasa watu wameamua tu watuibie. You know? Now, the other example
yes.
is the issue of handouts. We've been conditioned that saizi hakuna watu wako na a very hard time like candidates that don't have money. And allow me to say this,
Yes.
because you asked how we get from survival mode.
Yes.
The only way we can get from survival mode is through the ballot. But the people that we have that are supposed to bring change, some of them, they are financially incapacitated. But then the mwananchi, the voter, has been conditioned that when an MP appears, which is a natural
Occurrence,
it's a neutral occurrence.
Yes.
Ametokea.
Yes.
Natural reflex to
Yes.
the line.
MP kukuja kwa village,
Yeah.
ifai kukuwa ni big deal.
Yes.
Is a leader amekuja.
Our employee.
Yes,
He's our employee. Our employee.
Sasa hii in
Yeah.
Kenya
Yes.
tunatreating MP ni kama ni celeb. So MP amekuja mara ya kwanza
Yes.
kwa village.
Yes.
Ama huko mtaani.
Yeah.
Amekuja na do. Amepea vijana ambia, hey, sasa hii barabara tutatengeneza, lakini senteni sana kwa kuja hata kuna kalanchi yenu hapa.
Yes,
Ameacha.
Yes.
Ile siku ingine amekuja pia ameacha lunch.
Yes.
Alafu my brother here
Yeah.
anataka kuvai.
With great ideas.
You know, he has brilliant ideas. He has a great mind. You come, you talk to these people.
Yeah.
Unaambia, you know what guys? Mimi I'm this and this. I'm an engineer.
Yes.
I'm this, niko hivi. You have a portfolio bana.
Yes.
Lakini wale wase after umeongelesha, umepeana speech yako hapo serious.
akwambia
wanakuuliza sasa Mhesh ulikuwa unasemaje, as if whatever you've been saying there is nonsense. So
idea yako na inafuatwa na pesa.
until we demolish this foundation that is very deep for handouts, we will be ending up with very wrong leaders. Now angalie, we don't have anything that the government of Kenya is doing for Kenyans through the president, actually, to be very categorical, through the president, that does not involve people queuing, people giving testimonies as if they're in a church, like they're not a program. If we want to empower these people, situunde website, what to apply. We are in the era of AI. AI can be able to tell that my brother here is qualified or not qualified. In as a tell Steve, see youth, come, of course, youth. You know, but it's just give me an example. Like if we want to empower Kenyans, where do they have to queue and come and take a microphone? Aseme mimi tangu Nyota program ikuje nimefurahia nimepata 20,000, like
why do they have to queue to get the funds and Nyota program to begin with?
Exactly.
When all those applications you can just do them online, it's cheaper, more efficient, and you can achieve more impact.
But then there's a reason we cannot do it online, because we need to use this after I've given you the 20,000 to buy you. Ukae kwanza chini pale the whole day,
na
you listen to me, na nikimaliza pale niuliza sasa nyinyi mnaona wale majamaa wako na mpango. Yeah, because now
in fact niliona juzi hapo walikuwa wameka men na hizi vitambaa za women's guild wamezifunga hapo na in the name of empowerment.
Just before we deviate,
yes.
I wanted to ask him about this. How do we go about this issue of handouts now?
The issue of handouts.
Now that we know it is systematic.
Yes.
How do we address it?
Yes.
From which angle?
One, I think the point where the opposition, the united opposition, completely failed in this issue of handouts is telling Kenyans that, you know what, tutakula pesa ya huyu mtu, lakini a good example is the Mbeere North. In Mbeere North,
Yes.
It was a very tight race. And I hail from that region, not the Mbeere North region, but from the Embu region.
The general region.
From the general region.
Vicinity.
So, I was very keen with how things are going there. Kuna time nilienda ground, and I'm telling you,
Yes.
there was a lot of money that was invested, not spent, it was invested in the KK's candidates.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Now, this is the irony. And I love giving examples that are relatable.
Yes.
Let's say someone called John. He has a wife.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
John has a wife. Unakuja unaambia bibi yako, and then John has a rich neighbor. But he's incapacitated financially. He cannot take care of the family.
Yeah.
So anaambia bibi yake, ambia, you know what? Madam, enda ukule kwa jirani na watoi wakule huko. Lakini si unajua mimi ndio mtu wako. But wewe kwa sababu jirani ako na do, uenda ukule.
Yes.
Lakini wewe jua hii mambo ingine. Hii mambo ingine, hii sekta ingine ni home ground.
Yes.
So that is exactly what happens. If you tell your wife to go and eat from the neighbor,
Yes.
don't ask her where she got the pregnancy from.
Amen.
Yes. So we cannot be pretenders and tell Kenyans that, hey, enda mchukue pesa ya kiongozi fulani, but don't vote for that person. Because what happens, sometimes poverty speaks in a louder way than integrity. A human being, the first instinct of a human being is survival. That is the first instinct.
Even reason.
Than reason. Like, you know, there was a man that Leona anauliza some these guys when you're at Kulangi pork. Let's say you're in the desert and the only food that is available there is pork. The guy told him, you survive fast.
You eat the pork and then we go read the Quran.
So you survive
what
fast.
it says after you have eaten.
But it's the same thing. It's the same.
What I can say is this.
Yes.
Kuna mama pale Mbeere North. Hiyo siku mambo imekauka, and we know by the way economy is tough.
It's terrible.
People atujifanye vitu.
Ako na watoto watano shuleni.
Ako na watoto watano shuleni.
Yes.
Hata tu assume shule ishasotiwa.
Yes.
But hawajakula.
Yeah.
And then ameambiwa, because this is what happened, ameambiwa Tuesday you will go as an assisted voter.
Be very ready for Tuesday.
Yes, but you will go as an assisted voter. You know, one of the papers zenye ziliisha Mbeere North za kwanza zilikuwa za assisted voters.
Whoa.
Why? Because some of these citizens don't have a smartphone. Because the rule was very simple.
Yeah.
Enda pale upige kura.
Yeah.
after umepiga kura
Yeah.
piga picha.
Yeah.
After umepiga picha kuja tukufanya nini? Tukusort.
Yeah.
You know, lakini sina smartphone, nitapigaje picha? Naambia my brother don't worry, una smartphone, enda na huyu, wewe utakuwa kama assisted voter, hakikishe ile kura umepiga pale
Umepigia mtu mwenye nataka.
ni mtu mwenye nataka.
Okay.
So lakini sasa kuna mtu pale nyuma amewaambia you people endeni mkule pesa lakini mjue candidate ni fulani. So how can we solve this? One, we need to stop that pretense that we are just taking the money from some of the leaders that are corrupt and then hatutawapigia kura. No, we need to be very objective. We need to talk to our people about real issues. We don't need to talk to, because we can at this point we cannot avoid handouts at Wezi. But what we can do is educate the masses on the benefits of good leadership that outweigh the benefits of handouts. Because someone will come and give our mamas lessons and 200 shillings and then they disappear for 5 years. Saizi wale watoto wale and you know I'm usually very ruthless with our population because
kweli hapa Kelele Digital
reason sahi kuna shida ya transition. Hakuna shule za watoto 70,000 kwa hiyo county yenu. No, kwa county fulani 70,000 wametoka junior wanafaa waende senior school. Reason hawana shule ni kwa sababu wewe ukusikiza mheshimiwa. You ask these people whether they even know the manifesto of their current leaders. They don't. You know? So the reason tuko na hizi shida kwa sababu tuliamka tukapigia mtu fulani kura kwa sababu alitupatia 500 na hatukumuuliza kitu atatufanyia. So that investment that happened in Mbeere North, actually, to be very categorical, I don't expect the people of Mbeere North to have any development in the next 5 years.
It boils down to proper civil education.
Yes, it is proper civic education. But then as we speak also about the proper civic education, we also need to rise against economic injustices. And we need to look at these systemic issues or systemic failures in our forms of government of governance. One of the people that has been very vocal in that is Okiya Omtatah. Like amekuwa kitetea vitu zenye hata watu they didn't see them coming. For example, we need to if even our mandamanos need to be very objective. Kama tunaandamana kukuwe na policy ya education, let us push
very good maandamano
ya an educational policy,
ideological.
There's a failure I noticed in our mandamano year 2024 when I contrasted it with the lecturers. You see, lecturers they knew who they were protesting towards, like the head of state.
And what they wanted.
And they also knew what they wanted.
They were very realistic in the demands as well.
Do you think we should be
we didn't know who is supposed to be listening to our protest and what if they do?
What are we telling them?
What do we stand to gain here? Do you think we should be now categorizing the maandamanos kama hai? Nashangaa, I asked you. Nashangaa ni aje hakuna maandamano ya walimu washikane na wanafunzi ambao wako disenfranchised hata university students kwa sababu bado wananyimwa help.
Walimu hawezi simama. You can't go to the streets to fight your employer. When they are not agitated directly.
You're not agitated. The only time the lecturers maybe or whoever it is, this is up now to the parents who are affected. But now remember pia parents si kila parent huko nje anaumia.
True.
And even
so labda hakuna threshold
lakini wale wanaumia ni in fact ukiangalia normal curve ukiangalia labda the distribution the reason ilikuwa na shida na Dalton akisema parent earning 100,000 wale wengi wana earn minimum.
Actually it was his example, imagine he was saying the few which are very few. Imagine those few they cannot afford. What about the
average common
majority when you wanna live hand to mouth?
Na 30,000.
Mwenye ana earn 350 shillings na kuna watoto watatu wako shule.
Mbona watu wajashikana? Umesema ni civil education. What else can be there yenye inafanya hawa watu wakae docile?
No, what I think as well as we look for solutions, we also need to be the solutions. A lot of young people, saizi ukiangalia, a lot of young people that we've been in this journey for this revolution together.
Yes.
A lot of young people have deviated. And they have deviated for one reason. They have not been patient enough to continue agitating for issues without having any economic benefits. If you look at the people right now that are calling themselves youth leaders,
Yes,
or
yes, yes,
UDA,
yes, yes, yes,
sijui
yes, yes.
Kenya Kwanza, whatever, ground mobilizers,
Yes.
those people that are advocating for the Nyota programs, they're not doing it because they so much believe on the government's policies. They are doing it because
They have something to gain,
they have bills that need to be paid.
Social clout.
Yes. No,
Social
they
media.
have bills that need to be paid. And the only place they can get
They are,
Getting that opportunity.
that money is from the government.
so there are no difference between them and NGO ambao
Yes.
wanaiba pesa.
So
Like people
You know-
should not, government should not be a place of job. It should be
Yeah.
service. It's not where you earn
Exactly.
your livelihood. It's a place you come and serve the nation.
Yes.
But sasa sisi,
Then you get
I want to become a billionaire.
rewarded for the service done.
Says if you want to
actually,
become
one-
a millionaire quickly, if you want to accelerate your rise,
Yes.
sio kuwe
Exponentially.
kuwe MP ama MCA.
Yeah, so actually, what I was thinking
Yes.
is, for all the categories of work within the government, we should, people generally, the suggestion should be that we work on contracts and have key performance indicators,
For KPIs, yes.
KPIs, that
Yes.
such that if we give you a 5-year tenure as a lecturer
Yes.
or as a primary teacher,
Yes.
we come and assess you. If you do not qualify, hujafikisha
Threshold.
a threshold,
Yeah.
you
But they don't
actually-
do this for the teachers na low level workers, lakini wale ambao wamekaa wanakula
now,
kwa IDM.
for everybody.
So ministry yote ya
if we
education.
start it from down,
Yes.
there will be no excuse. And actually, you have reminded me of something. In the United States, of course, it's a quite. We can borrow something.
We
from-
borrow everywhere. Hata
Yeah.
Singapore.
In the United States, there's something called midterms.
Elections.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Midterm
ones that they are
elections,
happening
right?
right now.
Yes.
There, I think it's
the-
underway.
yeah,
Or
they're underway.
if it's not
It's
underway, it's
2026.
almost.
2026, yeah.
Now, this is what I was thinking. We have a lot of non-performers warming the seats in Senate
Yes.
and the Parliament.
Yes.
And in those ministries.
And in
Na
those
hiyo
forget
ministries,
about
yes.
the ministries.
Ministries.
no, for the ministries, we might not be directly. We've been shut down. Okay, what they say is that
been isolated.
democracy is a dictatorship by the majority, and then this majority
Yeah.
is also narrowed down to a minority that
Who
speaks on their
represents-
behalf.
yeah. Who can be stupid at the same time.
Are you
majority-
getting that?
Hey, rudi hapo.
Democracy is dictatorship
Yes.
by the majority. But then this majority
Yes.
is also narrowed down to a minority that speaks on behalf of the majority.
The only safeguard we had for that are outlined in the constitution, but they are not enforced.
Yeah. So if we had midterms, for example,
yes.
to Amwe, and actually for these midterms, you don't even need them for the executive. Let us have them for the MPs, because our problems emanate from policy makers. Our MPs are the policy makers. Our problems come from our legislators. So tuseme sasa huyu MP wetu mwenye amekuwa kwa uongozi miaka 2.5, it's time to evaluate him, na kama hajatimiza,
Kama watoto wake bado anasomea chini ya miti.
wanasomea chini ya miti, it should be out.
Nje.
But then this is the question.
I agree with that.
Because we have very brilliant ideas.
Yes.
We should have midterms.
Yes.
Who should enforce the issue of having midterms?
Very good question. A discussion we've been having the whole day.
So
Who should table that idea that okay, we should have midterms?
I think the public is too squeezed to be able to do too much. They have
Yeah.
too much on their plate. So that's where we can turn to our unions. So we look at unions like Kupet, EBK
NAT.
for the engineers,
Yes.
NAT. Now our unions have become very weak, and most of them are docile. They don't speak for the needs of the people. So I think if we can find a way of revitalizing, if we can come together in these unions, we can have the unions be an amplified voice for us to the judiciary, because I believe our problem is not even the MP. Our problem is the judiciary. Because whenever any government official commits a violation, especially gross violations of the constitution,
Yes.
the judiciary should enforce it. If they enforce it, we won't have those problems. But our judiciary are very docile and quiet.
But there's a reason. For example, not cutting you short, but look at when Maraga, the CJ Emeritus, nullified, or the bench nullified the election.
Yeah.
What was the first thing Uhuru Kenyatta said? That we shall deal with, we shall revisit.
We shall revisit.
So,
Yeah, we shall revisit as a threat.
Who sits down and allocates budget for the judiciary?
Executive.
Executive, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Before the executive allocates it, does it pass through anyone?
It goes now to
Or before it goes to the executive, does it pass through, does it come from somewhere?
yeah, it comes from somewhere. I think
Comes from the MPs.
the MPs.
You know?
Yeah.
So what is happening here is that, according to me,
Yes.
we have given, as you said about the power, we have donated so much power to people that don't have political goodwill. And then, all of a sudden, now we have realized that we are very powerless as a people, and the only language that our government can understand is maandamano. And then in that maandamano, we are still being told it's a constitutional right, but we are being killed in those maandamanos.
Now in that mandamano, we are so unfocused that we end up not getting whatever we want.
Because in that maandamano also,
Yeah.
the government also has a hand
Yes.
of funding people
Who
that
disrupt
want
us.
to disrupt us. So we are cooked.
Yes. Wow.
But then, okay, we need to think of a way out. And the only way out here is, apart from complaining in maandamanos, apart from saying that huyu MP wetu hafanyi kazi, sisi tujitokeze tuitishe hizo viti za MP.
I also believe, I genuinely believe, we need more radical decision makers.
Yes.
People who can make decisions despite what will happen to the government. Because if, for example, these billions that disappeared in our financial year last year, if the judiciary is to come and ask the executive to account for it, no matter what happens, if they can be radical enough to demand for accountability, things will be a bit better. If that will happen even in Parliament itself, every time you have one member of Parliament who's radical enough to challenge obnoxious bills of the other people, it's always better for us.
But isn't that a little idealistic in the fact that the same people who are supposed to be fighting for these radical changes are still the same? Is the jury and the judge in the same person?
You see even the pretense with our legislators.
Yes.
They know the right avenue to oppose things. For example, and I like to be realistic because I don't belong to any political party as at now. And I cannot say there's a faction that yes, of course, there's that now. And I cannot say there's
encouraging everyone here to run for something.
I can't say there's a faction that I'm voting for.
Yes.
But then this is my question. We have a united opposition.
Yes.
And to go down now to issues, how Barber-led opposition versus the current united opposition were operating, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right now, we have people that will come on top of Prados. Awaambie, mimi nimeona ukweli ni kwamba hii ishaifanyi kazi.
Yeah.
Na huyu William Ruto anajua hii ishaifanyi kazi.
Yes.
But then you ask yourself, hii ilipitia wapi? Ilipitia bunge. And then huyu MP ni lini ameandika anything ya ku try to woo the house to bring an alternative
nimeona hiyo na Dende Nyoro, they have been fighting Dende Nyoro kutoka eke video zake za shule, vile shule zake ziko na kabro. There is a guy from Mandera anakuja anasema kwanza alisema anajielekea pesa mingi. Now after years ametoka hapo, now still goes on with the same trajectory. But you have somebody from Mandera anasema ya kwamba even our children, they don't need even those cabros and learning facilities. They just need sand.
Actually, he said the terrain in Mandera is so good that you don't need to pave it.
Wow.
Huko hakuna matope.
So how do we build a chemistry laboratory? Imejaa vumbi.
But then Senator Steve, whatever is ailing Mandera actually is a whole different issue. And one day I think you should set a day we discuss these things about clanism.
Yes.
That is what is
ailing Minnesota. Mbeere
North. Yes. That is what is ailing those people.
Ongeza clanism kutoka huko mpaka Minnesota. Mpaka huko nasikia kuna clanism imefika huko. Yes.
Because what I'm thinking of it is as a country, one of the things I'm noticing is we are generalizing the solutions for the problems.
Okay.
For example, the kids of Mandera. I think
Yeah.
the solution for them, Mandera, Turkana, and all that.
Yes.
Those people move a lot. Idealistically.
Move a lot.
We
In
can't
terms of-
have
in
virtual
terms of-
classes, but
Huh?
hakuna virtual classes.
Not
Eh.
even virtual, but
Yeah. They are migrants.
They are migrants in
Wanaitangwa
terms
je-
of personal-
nomads.
Yes.
That's the
unless
word.
when you wanaishi kwa towns.
Yes.
Now in towns the government can construct schools,
Yes.
good schools.
Yes.
But those who are moving,
Yes.
now you need to have a system whereby if you have pilot schools tailored for those kids.
Pilot schools.
Because
Uandike hiyo.
if you go now there's a guy.
Is nomadism the only way of living there?
I think the problem is
I think in this century.
No, like
is there, is
no.
there-
They still live that way, so you have to respect
They have
that.
been living there. So that,
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, you
like, are there solutions that because why do they migrate?
Are there nomadic teachers?
I think
Yeah,
the
they are.
problem is
They
not
are.
even being nomads. The problem is the economy. The people
Exactly.
migrate to get more resources,
Yes.
more food, to look for places with water.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, greener
Like
pastures.
that's why I'm asking. In the 21st century, I have no problem
Yes.
with them having
Immigrating,
that
the way of life, eh.
It's they are conservatives. Most of them
Yes,
actually.
yes,
But then
yes.
the question is, in the 21st century, if these people are moving to greener areas, what can we do as a country
Also, as
to
is
make
there-
sure that they don't move so much?
No, is there data? Because there's always data how they move. They come world-based migration. Sorry to use this.
I think that example is ridiculous.
I have to use it regardless. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Boiling down to it, at the end of the
Hear me
day, we
out.
are all mammals.
We are mamas. That's a nice one. Now, we are here migrating. Oh God, I cannot even use that word. Now, we are here living nomadically. Okay. Now, tunajua ya kwamba in this season, you're a person wa data na mathematics. You know this. Ya kwamba all these things they boil down to wanatokanga hapa in this location Lokochogio. Wanaenda kwingine
Na hii season hapa ndio
na hii
kuna
season
kuanga hivi.
why can't we build schools? Kwa sababu tunajua next season watakuja hapa, they will migrate to these areas. Why can't we build schools huko, alafu hiyo kimigrate the other time wakirudi hiyo pande nyingine
wapate schools.
some people are knowledge like
It's a difficult problem.
Yes.
Because our economy already is struggling as is. If the economy is good, we just need to build in one location. They will settle there.
Yes.
There are drier places on the planet where people have settled. The only reason is the economy is good enough and the supply chains are good enough that you can access food, even if it's grown in Nairobi,
I think-
you can access it.
I think we are
So
underestimating.
that is a difficult problem
You're
because it's a bigger problem that touches on our economy and our agriculture.
You are underestimating the ability of to do away with the culture, because sometimes unaweza leta this
It has
great
happened
developments
before. People have settled
before
down.
huko, but pia it has happened an instance where you build a warhol in the village and the women prefer to go very far
very
to get
far.
their money. So you've brought the maendeleo pale, but wamesema ni aje, we are not going to use this borehole because the time they use they go for kuchota maji huko, that is the only time they leave the house to have banter with themselves.
Yeah.
So culturally umeleta pale, but because you did not understand their culture, it's a very great development.
Their culture. Yeah, like in short, what I wanted to say is the problems we have as a country, majority of them are cultural. Like we can solve them culturally, identifying, let's say, people from this specific
No,
region.
I think is it cultural or local?
Local.
Culturally,
Let's
domicile.
assume local.
Let's assume it's
There's a
local.
local locus and a global locus.
Yes.
So locally,
The problems
there
will be
are
solved
problems they
Yes,
have locally,
yes.
which we cannot perceive. We who are outside
Yes.
the local community.
Local problems require local,
Local
solutions.
solutions.
But something else. For every local solution, it must reference the global solution. Otherwise,
Yes.
if they conflict, the system will collapse.
But listen to this. The Masai.
Yes.
Tuchukue example ya Masai. The Masai kids ambao wako wanasoma in Masai land. I'd imagine, I'm not from there, but I'd imagine that wanaendanga especially the young men, the boys. I'm surprised how they end up in university, but wanatoka from one area kupeleka ng'ombe malishoni huko. Okay, hawa tu hawana internet. Do I assume that they don't have internet?
labda wanaweza kuwa na
No, the
margin
coverage
unstable.
is
The coverage
low.
is terrible.
Yeah.
Kumaanisha virtual schools is almost impossible.
Yes.
Now huyu mtu ametoka from asubuhi ameenda akalisha ng'ombe huko, hajakuwa na access to shule. Yes, Ruto amesema ati kila mtu ametuma chief every village kuenda kuangalia kama kuna wanafunzi wajaenda shule. Lakini hiyo village ameenda, watoto si ati wameenda shule kwa hiyo village, wametoka, hakuna watoto kwa sababu wameenda wapi? Wameenda malishoni.
Yeah, and then another thing
How do we do this?
I'm thinking this way. If you look, since we started this 100% transition,
Yes.
that's when the rain started hitting us. Because you take someone who had 90 marks, sorry to say this.
Yes.
That person has a different ability. You go put him in a chemistry class for 4 full year, paying over 60,000 a year for him.
Yes.
Then it turns out and with an E. Now you, the same government, you have to take care of this person with an E.
Yes.
Again, now you say, let's come about with the TVET.
TVET, yeah.
You take him another to the TVET. Now
Yes.
that's when now you're establishing this person has this potential.
Maybe to get a view of the numbers we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Remember the KCC results were released just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
A third are going to university. The remaining 2/3, about 700 and something thousand people, have nowhere to go. We don't have enough TVETs to hold
to
700
take-
and something
yeah.
thousand people.
Yeah.
And over 10 years, that will be 7 million people.
But actually, to bring it into
7 minutes.
perspective, if we look at the number or the value of handouts that have been dished out in the last like 1 year.
Yeah.
There's a time I think the president gave almost how many millions did he give to Jesus Winner Ministry?
Wejua kuna 50 million ilikuwa napatiana pahali.
20
There was 50 million.
It was
All these churches, by the way.
pretty
So,
much.
eh,
money,
Let
yeah.
us,
There's
let us look
100
at
million
a
every
scenario.
week. All these churches.
For you to build a class
Yes.
that
What-
is standard, with the current-
The ideal classroom.
the
Yes.
ideal classroom.
Yes. Holding 40 students.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
A good one, eh?
Yes.
You need about 700,000, 800.
And, it can reach around 1.1 million.
On the
but
out- the
let
outside.
us let us assume that we don't have that luxury.
Yes.
Because it is better to have a shade than standing under a tree
Yes.
or having nowhere
Even
to get.
tunajenga utanusu.
So let us even give it 1 million.
Yes.
If you give 50 million
Yes.
as handouts
Yes.
to a congregation, which is
JCC.
okay, we love God
Whatever.
and I have no problem with that.
Yes.
But those are 50 classrooms. If a classroom can hold about 60 students, we are talking about 3,000 students. So if someone spends 50 million for every month to either campaign
Every
or
Sunday.
every Sunday, no,
Yeah.
let's assume every month.
Okay.
Every month.
Uh-huh.
For 1 year or for 10 months,
Yeah.
they have spent about 500 million.
Yeah.
So if we put into perspective,
That could have been
3,000,
30,000
those are
people.
30,000 students.
Wow.
So what I'm talking about in this issue, about these handouts, nyinyi waheshimiwa wenye mnapeana handouts in whichever level, anzeni kutupatia handouts za classrooms. Start giving us handouts
Makofi.
in terms of hospitals. Go to that community.
Yes.
Wacha kuita youths wapatie 10,000.
Na nataka
Kila
niongeze
mmoja.
hapo.
Prioritize.
Na nataka
Kuja
ni-
ujenga shule hapo yenye iko na capacity ya watu 2,000. Hiyo 500 million yako yenye unataka kuspend within 2 months. Enda go build TVETs in different counties. That is the only kind of empowerment.
They can even
that we
start
would
with
want.
this. Our universities
Yes.
themselves don't even have equipment.
Yes.
A good
Zero
example
labs.
I was
Uh-huh.
looking at was University of Nairobi and Kenyatta University, the
Yeah.
engineering labs.
Yes.
The university says, oh, these things are expensive, so they don't budget for it. They budget more for the other part of the school.
Administrative.
But by the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
if you're going to train students and they don't have the machinery and the equipment they need, na hiyo pesa ya kubuy the equipment umepeleka church.
Ni vizuri huyo alifika university because in CBC you are told imagine a computer.
Imagine.
Imagine a computer.
Imagine a computer. Like, watoto wanaambiwa imagine venye computer
Imagine how a computer will look like.
Imagine.
Then we are going
Mwalimu hata
to
yeye
examine
mwenyewe
you
kuitumia.
on your imagination
We are-
of the computer.
we are living
Erije ulifika
dangerously.
university.
As Singapore, I
Yes.
can say we are living dangerously.
This is good, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I'm being told time in Asia. However, I would like to invite you, if the people of Nairobi
na our great sponsors hapa Kelele Digital watakubali ya kwamba we come and have a part 2 of this conversation.
Yes.
Because we have not even exhausted. Kuna mambo mengi hatujaguza.
Yeah.
Kuna mambo mengi hatujaguza. So if you can, gentlemen, will promise the people, don't promise me, promise the people of Nairobi pale ya kwamba you are going to come here and we have this discourse, because it cannot end in one session. Yes. So unfortunately we have to end our very great show, which was very great, but labda tuanze na parting shots.
Yeah.
Dalton, what would you like to advise mtu ambaye ako nyumbani amesikia hii conversation, the government, because this show is watched by very many people, the government, the teachers, the parents and the students? What is your message for today?
I will start with a nice good statement from Elon Musk in the World Economic Forum. He said it is better to be optimistic about the future, and even if you make a mistake,
Yes.
than be pessimistic and be right. So I advise Kenyans, I urge Kenyans, I encourage you, be optimistic about the future of your country. In the last voting cycle, we had very few Gen Zs who went to vote.
Yes.
Part of the reason is they didn't think their vote was worth something.
Yeah.
Be optimistic. Your voice is worth something. Your vote is worth something. Every email you send to these government offices,
Every
not
communication.
all of them will be put in spam. Be optimistic about that. That's the only way out for you as a citizen, for me as a citizen. For the politicians, we need a better prioritization of funds. If you want votes, just build something for us that is useful to us. We will see, we will give you votes. It doesn't make sense to be giving us handouts and spending the same amount of money when you could have been doing something useful to Kenyans.
Kwa wazazi, nataka uambie wazazi, leo tuna address everyone, hata walimu. You have to address them. Ujumbe wa wazazi tafadhali.
Kwa wazazi,
Yes.
yenu ni ngumu. You are going to be struggling to survive, kulipa
Yes.
fees,
Yes.
to deal with all of these things. But education of your child, struggle as much as you can to at least make sure they get access to basic education, because unfortunately it's going to be a very hard time for them if they don't have some of these qualifications, some of these certifications, getting even a job in Kenya after they graduate.
Yes.
And they will come back and burden you as a parent to take care of them. For the teachers, encourage civic education in your institutions. Make sure your students at least know the reality of the country they're living in, how they can affect change, and what they can do. I will not advise that maybe you go protest, because of course you're in a
I
dangerous
advise you
position
protest. I advise you
as a
protest.
teacher. That's your employer, but at least make sure your students know the Constitution. They know this document. I have a copy of the Constitution here. You can encourage every one of them to buy a copy of the Constitution. They know the laws of the land. They know their rights, and they know how they can change things.
Katiba shuleni tutawaleta hapa, ndawatafuta niwalete hapo katika show. Daniel,
Yep.
nataka uwape maoni yako, parting shot, na ile kitu ungetaka wajue. Walimu, wanafunzi, wazazi, na nani mwingine?
Serikali.
Ile serikali.
Kwanza tuanze hapo kwa serikali. Prioritization of funds and resources, and being accountable first to yourselves, you as the politicians and the governments, because the government is involve both politicians and the civil servants. Accountability of the resources and yourselves, and the intention, be intentional. We see some of these politicians very, very intentional. Maybe the question I was asking myself, how comes it's only one MP who is showcasing his work? I'm very interested in showcasing his work. What are the others doing? 300 and something. What are they doing? No one is accountable. 349 also. No one is accountable. No one, like, I think one of the things, if you, one of the quotes I would say is, if you can't do anything for free, then you don't deserve to be paid at all.
Wow.
Now that goes to the MPs. If you can't do good for your people for free, then you don't deserve any token of payment. And to the parents, this one goes to the parents. The times are very tough for everybody. But one thing I would say is, as parents, don't practice what we call emotional incest to your kids. By this I mean, as much as things are hard, fees is lacking, food is scarce, and all that. Don't bring that into your kids. You are bringing in a new generation who, when they grow up, they don't want to experience the same thing you have experienced. Offer them an opportunity not to experience the hardship you are going through, so that when they grow up, they will not focus on being greedy of resources that you didn't have to provide for them. There will be people who know, now I can do anything for free for the benefit of others.
No emotional incest.
No emotional incest. Now that's where, well, maybe I can expound, even if it's a parting shot.
Yes.
This is a condition where parents or involve kids in adult things. For example, we are hearing, I'm seeing, okay, I'm very hurt when I see a parent with a kid. Well, he wants help. The kid is not going to school, but you're in front of a camera with your son, telling your son to tell us that he doesn't have fees. That kid grows up 4 years later, finishes, maybe goes to university, finishes, gets a job. First things first, I have to fight what I missed. So I have to accumulate as much as possible, and it doesn't matter. Within the shortest time possible, because I don't know if I'll exist tomorrow. That's what we have been raised in, majority of us. Now, even those MPs we see, they grew up in a setup where resources were scarce, and parents used to involve them in knowing that resources are scarce. Another example would be when parents are paying fees, you call your kid and tell them, hey, you know what, I'm sacrificing a lot for you.
Wow.
That one affects the kid. You want a kid to have a life that you didn't have.
Perhaps it's good to highlight that it is very hard knowing how much you should tell the kids and how much you should not.
Exactly. Let the kids be kids. You be the adult. Fix the things the way you'll fix them, despite the struggles. The kid will grow knowing there was abundant, even if it wasn't. There wasn't.
The teachers.
To the teachers, same thing. Don't criminalize kids. Now, right now, you will see kids are coming from different backgrounds. Some, the parents afforded the fee. Compare an empty box. Treat them equally. Create an environment to be equal for everybody.
Asante sana, Daniel.
Thank
That
you.
was very profound. Bwana Mugane, I'd like to finish the show with you.
My parting shot, I'll be very brief,
Yes.
goes to Kenyans generally and the leaders. First of all, I'd tell Kenyans that we are not suffering from bad policies or poor policies. We are suffering from a culture of undermining good policies. That is to the voter. So what needs to be done ought to be done. And what needs to be done is to make the right decision at the ballot. Don't look at the clan. Don't look at the tribe. Don't look at the age. There's nowhere that we have said that it is only Gen Zs that can bring change. We have millennials. We have great people with great visions. Let us have a track record of everybody that we vote for. If you have not been in government, let us see what you've been agitating for. Give us your portfolio in whichever capacity. You don't need to have led before for you to have done something for this cause. We need to hear your voice. Have you gone to interviews? Have you gone to door to door? Have you, what is your portfolio in terms of good governance?
Yes.
If you've been a leader before and you lost or you want to come back, also give us your track record. You know? So show us what you've done when you were in leadership. Don't come with sweet words. Don't come with a lot of revolutionary jargons that we are going to change, we are going to chase who. Like, tell us what you did when you had a particular privileges. To our leaders, stop using education as a political tool. A future of a nation relies on how much skill, competence, and clarity it can produce in the workforce, in the area of leadership, and in the global space. The moment we compromise education, The moment we use whatever has been a tool of equalization to be a political favor, we are not only failing the people that are not your family, you are failing a generation. And actually, let me tell you, Steve, as I, with the parting shot, we had an issue of, because I want to highlight how systems affect systems and affect people, that things think that systems cannot affect them. Most of the policy makers have accumulated a lot of wealth, so they think that when the system is failing, they are an exception. We had a sad case of someone that got an accident a few months ago along, I think, Mombasa Road. He was a rich man. He was a wealthy guy from Mukambani.
Yes.
He got an accident, and there was a chance of saving him, but the car was, under a trailer. But then the reason why, unfortunately, we might have lost a life that would have been saved, may soul rest in peace, is because of a system failure. We don't have any rescue on the road.
Road rescue. Yeah.
That is a government rescue.
That is
The
responsible.
closest we've become is the Sikika Road Safety, which is an initiative from a person. So these people that are sabotaging education, one day they will have companies that will need a workforce, and they can assure them with all those millions, they will have to either hire expatriates or use AI.
Wow.
Because this generation
Yes.
that you are failing, this generation that you are denying bursaries, this generation that you are denying a chance to get into school because you used that money to buy campaign merchandise, is the same generation that will be serving in your company, in your child's company. It is the same generation that will be leading your children when you will be gone. That is my parting shot.
Thank you. Na hata umefanya talking about generations. Whatever we do here at Imagine Nairobi is not only for us, but also the next generations, the future generations. And I'd like to also urge the government ya kwamba wapatie mambo Ministry of Education to someone who's not in his sunset days. Mtu ako miaka 70, God forbid they die at 80, then the poor policies ambazo wametengeneza, they will affect a 12-year-old who has about 70 more years to live in the same country. So asanteni sana. Thank you. You have been wonderful guests. We are going to have another show. Na watu wa Nairobi, asanteni sana for watching Imagine Nairobi show. This is Senator Steve Maina tukisema kwaheri, and let us all work together. Shukran. See you in the next one. Asanteni sana bwana. Thank you. Yeah. Very good.